So you spent 3 to 4 years of your life and 30 to 40,000 pounds of dollars to get a university degree, yet you still have no fucking clue actually how to make any real money online. And this is something I see over and over again, where people have put tons of money into traditional education, but put actually no money into real education. And case in point to some degree is I have 0 college or university credentials. I did average and mediocre at my A levels, yet I've done pretty well in terms of learning things online, because you learn from doing rather than theory. And a lot of things you learn in college and university are very outdated and no longer even in the position where they're really relevant. Even if you think about how quickly information is changing right now, they are not teaching the updated methods in universities or in schools, which is why people are getting left behind. And today we're talking about the framework of how we take clients from 0 to 50K a month, and with things that they didn't learn from university. Now, if I was to summarize that back, like university, college, and education has a lot of false promises. They give you the myth of job security, whereas actually the real thing that gives you security in life is skills. If you become a really highly skilled and highly valuable person, you will never run out of job opportunities. You will never run out of the ability to start your own business. And the reality is you have to understand the most important thing you then need to do is invest in yourself and learn skills. And that's where like life is a game of skill acquisition. The more skills you get, the more they compound on each other. And what we talk to you today about is the different phases you need in terms of actually like scaling up your business. Now, the first one you think about when you're going to start an online coaching business is validating your offer. So this is you basically going from 0 to 10K a month. Essentially, what do you need this? The most important thing here is proof of concept. Can you actually get someone to give you money? Like, will someone actually pay you? And this is where you need to validate that you have something in terms of a skill set and a way to actually solve someone's problem. Now, what I'd focus on doing with that is actually being, okay, who are you? What have you done? Who do you want to help? And what problems have you solved for yourself in the past? Because that's the easiest thing to do, because then it's congruent with your audience. You also understand their language, their tonality, and that's where it's very, very simple for you then to be very direct to the younger version of yourself, because you know all the pain points. Now, when you have that really clear, all you have to focus on is the simplicity of this whole thing. It's 2 things. You book sales call, you close sales call, you make money. That's kind of the game, right? So you need to get traffic, you need to find a way to convert that traffic into sales calls, and then you need to be able to close them and then get a client result and scale that process up. Now, why most people get stuck in their businesses and they don't actually ever scale these things up beyond, say, 10K a month or even 5K a month or even get that far, is they don't get escape velocity. They don't get the initial momentum. The reason for this is, 1, they don't do enough volume at the beginning. And I would say at the beginning, you need to use brute force violence of a lot of content, a lot of volume, a lot of messaging, because you don't know what you don't know. You will get better at the thing by naturally doing more of it. Therefore, if you are not great at talking on camera, the more you talk on camera, the better you will become. If you're not great at sales, guess what? The more sales calls you take, the better you can get. And the reality is we live in a world right now with AI. It's easier than ever before to actually improve, optimize, and scale your business as a one-man band faster than ever before, even if you're in a 9 to 5. When I left my job as an estate agent in 2019, my 9 to 5 career, we didn't have AI, we didn't have Reels, we didn't have any of this shit. I had to do everything manually. If I wanted to make a caption, I had to write the caption. It wasn't quite as simple as just put a prompt into ChatGPT and let it rip. So you actually have the golden window of opportunity in the next year or 2 to really maximize this and get ahead of everyone else. It's the same thing if like people thought social media was going to blow over and then it didn't. And now everyone's like, fuck, I wish I'd started my Instagram account sooner. I wish I'd started my YouTube sooner. I wish I'd built my personal brand sooner. You are going to be watching this in 2 years time thinking, I wish I'd taken action when I heard Charlie talk about AI and building online business, because it's easier than ever before. Yet, you're probably still afraid to do it. Now, in your first phase of the business, the monetization phase, once you've got some proof of concept, you've got content going out there, you've got people booking sales calls, you're closing them, you can get some results. You basically want to rinse and repeat that as much as possible and charge higher and higher prices. The number 1 reason most people say broke and they don't actually make the money they want in the business is they're not charging enough. If you charge bargain bucket prices, you will get bargain bucket clients. If you want people who are going to respect you for time and pay you more, then you actually have to charge higher prices. And this is one of the things I found for all my businesses. If you ever reduce the price, you ever do a deal for someone, that person will be a fucking nightmare, an absolute fucking nightmare. And the person who pays upfront, they're paid for the whole thing, will always be your dream client. They'll also be respectful, they'll respect your time, And a lot of that probably comes down to the type of person they are, and that's why they're in a situation where they can pay you more money. So that's essentially the short roadmap in terms of how you want to get to 10K a month. Now, we collapse that down for all the coaches we work with because we have a proven method that we give to them that works over and over and over again. And if your business isn't scaling right now, it's probably because you're using outdated methods from 2020, which no longer work because we're in the new world. We're in the new era. We're not in the information age, we're in the leverage age. And that's exactly what you can do with AI, but you don't know how, which is why you're getting left behind.
Quick interjection of the podcast. If you're an online coach who's looking to scale the business, get their first 5K a month, 10K a month, or even get to 50 to 100K a month, we have helped hundreds of trainers do this at this point, and I've personally generated over $14 million online in the fitness industry. We have a proven methodology that works, provided you're willing to do the work. Now, if you want to book in a free business audit, we'll break down exactly where you are now, where you want to go, and what's currently holding you back. Hit the link below this video and below the podcast to find out exactly how we can help you. Pick a time and we will walk you through the process of where your business is at and what exponential growth looks like. Now, back to the podcast.
Now we come into phase 2 when you're looking to try and scale and build an acquisition machine and go from essentially 10K a month to 30K a month. This is where you want to be starting to put the whole system on steroids by using paid ads. Now, people who do not know how to do this are losing out on the biggest superpower out there. If you can make content that converts into clients, and then you can learn how to put that content in front of people for a small amount of money and do that profitably as a system on repeat, you will never run out of clients again. You will not have a client acquisition problem. What you will then have when your business starts to scale is actually a staff acquisition problem because you will have new problems. And with new levels come new devils, and it's just down to you to actually understand how to fix each of those. Now, when you're at that point, this is where you can actually add more into your program as the business starts to scale up. So you can start adding maybe group calls, communities, and all these types of aspects. And this is where you actually want to start looking at the business as a whole and start actually looking at data, because some of the key things you want to start looking at here is churn. What percentage of clients are leaving? LTV, how much does a client pay you on average? These are really important metrics that no one actually looks at. And if you're looking to take your business from 10K to 30K a month, if you've got a huge churn rate and loads of your clients leave all the time, that is a big fundamental problem because it means you're going to be running a marketing sales machine rather than a coaching business. And if you could get to the point where clients stay with you for a long period of time, it's then very easy for you to scale a business and not be in that constant hamster wheel of having to worry about when the next sales calls come in, when the next payments come in, and how the next thing's going to work. So when you break this down, I spoke about booking calls, closing calls. The third part of this is retention. You have to have the retention locked in by doing a good quality service, and by also getting good quality service and retaining clients, you'll have to get the other R, which is referrals. And if you want to know how you can actually grow your business forever without even having to market, if you could get to the point where your referral rate was higher than your churn rate, your business would continue to grow because your existing client base will refer more clients and are actually leaving. And that's the goal position you want to be in, because that's the most stress-free business you would ever have to run. It will just grow from natural word of mouth, which is when you'd have a sick product. Now, if we look at phase 3, and we're looking to like really scale up to say 30 to 50 to 60K a month, this is where you really look at focusing on operationalizing things more. So you want to be looking at, okay, could we add in more setters? Can we increase the amount of traffic? Like, how profitable is the business? Where can I put more traffic and more fuel on the fire? And at some point in this process, you're going to have to enter probably one of the most dangerous areas where most people struggle. And that's trying to build sales teams, hire phone closers. How do you train them? Now, one of the things most people do in this scenario is completely fuck the whole thing up and think, I can never hire anyone ever again to do sales calls. And I see this happen a lot. That's why you also see so many coaches who are stuck at 10K a month. And also why I see a lot of people who in the business world are teaching about running one-man band businesses, because they don't know how to hire people, they don't know how to train people, they don't know how to run teams and systems. And that's essentially where you aren't actually building yourself a business, you have created yourself a job. You can never escape, and you have the golden handcuffs. And the quickest way to get out of that is with teams, systems, and also now the beauty of AI. And if you're not doing this, you will get left behind. Because say, for example, in our business, we have a team of 33. One person versus a team of 33, we can't lose. It's like manpower, like sheer brute force violence. Like I said earlier on, we would just annihilate competitors because the amount of volume and output we can do. And I think this is where, like, one of the things people don't talk about enough is the reality in terms of like the input and output equation. If, for example, we have in our own business, we basically have 3 YouTube channels, 2 we're using at the moment. I can post 3 long form videos a week on our YouTube channel. I can post 3 long form podcasts per week. Plus we put them on the audio versions. Plus we post all over Instagram. Who's going to get more traffic? The person who does that or the person who does 1 video a week? Like, there's a certain point where volume is going to win. And in particular, when you do this, how can you set it up so your likelihood of you being successful is like, it's impossible you won't be. And I'd think about this and like invert your thinking with it. If you wanted to be successful, what's the biggest thing you could do that would guarantee you wouldn't be successful? Being really inconsistent. So you're inconsistently posting, you weren't doing a lot of volume, that would guarantee you're not going to be successful. So if you wanted to be successful, what's the thing that's going to make you successful? Be super, super consistent, post fuckloads of volume of content, pattern iteration, try and improve, get more traffic, get more eyeballs, and get that content flywheel going. And that's the big process we help coaches scale up with, from going from 0 to 50K a month, so they can actually get the momentum they want. Because this is the biggest lie you've been fed from university, from schools, and people who aren't successful in their own coaching businesses, is that having a small business is easy. That's a fucking lie. You having a business where it's just you is actually worse than having a bigger business. Why? 1, every role and responsibility and problem falls on your lap. Huge problem. Customer complaint emails, Stripe problems, Facebook ad account gets disabled, someone's trolling you on Instagram, all this bullshit. You have to deal with it. If you have a team of people, you don't even know half of this happens. Like, I get people troll me all the time on Instagram. I don't even fucking see it. So I have clear sight of mind. And this is the point you want to be in, because what you want to do is, yes, you want to build a business that gets you to 50K a month, 100K a month, whatever it might be, even your first 10K a month. But the reality is you actually want to build a business that also serves you. And what I see most people doing is they get stuck actually building themselves a prison by actually not using the latest technology with their business to try and grow it. So the biggest take-home points I can give you, if you think about traditional business education versus the new world of business education, you actually need to use the tools of AI and leverage like never before. And this is the golden window to actually take advantage of those. And if you want help in implementing those into your business, hit the link below this video. You can find out exactly how we can help you. Took value from the podcast, share it with a friend.